harbor, there's a white hotel that kind of juts out into the Pacific called the Marina Inn Suites. Beautiful hotel. Because they're not hotel rooms, they're suites. They have living rooms, bedrooms, hot tubs, kitchens. They're wonderful. And they have either they have a view of the harbor or they have a view of the ocean, or both. And so we keep them there from Friday night to Sunday afternoon, all expenses paid. We pay for the rooms, we pay for all their foods, and we work with different churches throughout the community and marriage counselors, and we bring them in and we put on a program for them that takes about 8 hours throughout the 3 days. So for about 2 hours twice a day, they'll go into a meeting where they'll hear speakers talk and they'll be able to get personal counseling. These counselors will follow them after the marriage retreat throughout their lives to try to keep their marriages together. So a marriage retreat's not going to heal a marriage by itself, but by developing trust in us and by developing a relationship with us and with our counselors, when they do have problems in their marriage down the road, they immediately know where to turn to. One of the things we do throughout the retreat is while they're sitting and listening to the retreat, we have photographers go around and take pictures all the time, you know. So it's a surprise that the last day we have a flowered arbor with a wedding cake, and we have each couple come and take a picture cutting the wedding cake, and then we have them recommit themselves to their marriage and to their families. And then when they show up on for the last meal, we give them a big frame, and in the middle of the frame is the picture of them cutting the wedding cake, and then all around that picture are about 12 different pictures that they didn't know were taken of them during the marriage retreat, of them laughing and smiling and kissing each other and holding each other. These little secret little moments that they weren't aware of. You know, it might be a tear in their eye, something of that sort. So they have this thing to put on their wall when they get home of them cutting a wedding cake and all these pictures of them attending a marriage retreat. And if ever they have any trouble, they take it down off the wall, they turn it over, and there's our name, there's our address, there's our phone number, there's the phone number of our counselors. Not one couple who's attended our marriage retreats, and we've been doing this for several years now, has gotten a divorce. Now, I know I'm asking the wrong group here. I don't know if I could ask any group right now. It would be the right group. But the only way that I've really been able to support this ministry is just with our own money. In the 5 years that we've had this ministry, we've had about $7,000 in donation. We've spent over over $100,000 a year easily. So we've spent actually about $1 million in the last 5 years, and it's all come from my pocket. And now I'm out of money. So I've got to figure out a way of bringing in money besides coming out of my bank account, because my bank account doesn't have any money in it anymore. If you guys know of any philanthropists, if you know of any businesses that maybe you worked for in the past that have grants for military charities, we are a 501c3. We're approved by the state. We're approved by the United States government and the IRS. So we're completely 501c3, and I've got to figure out how to get donations. Now, I'm going to just say one last thing. One of the things, just by the way, now I know a lot of us are older and we're not as up to date on computers as the younger generation, which grew up with them stuck in their ears, I think. But there's a radical transformation happening in this world right now. It's called the social networks. You guys have probably heard of Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube and things like that. 3.5 times the population of the world goes to the social networks every day. So we get about 12 million people a day, 12 billion people a day will go to the social networks. If you took all the 1,000 television channels that we have on our TV channel, took all those channels, you took all the radio channels, you took all the people who read newspapers and combined them into one, it wouldn't even compare with how many people just go to Twitter every day. And so far more people are on the social networks than anywhere else in the world. Consequently, it's totally changed our country. People will no longer need to advertise in newspapers. Newspapers won't exist, unfortunately. They're going out of business. I've been reading a paper since I was 5 years old. I read the LA Mirror, Times Mirror. And, and now I don't have a paper to read, but the North County Times, it keeps getting thinner and thinner. And the news is not very good. So everyone's turning to the internet now to get their news and to get everything. What I found, even for job boards, like I have a job board, I have a full-time job board, where they can go on my site and they can find a full-time job. Only 4% of the jobs that are being found today are being found on job boards. 96% of all the jobs that people find when they're unemployed, they're finding them on Twitter, they're finding them on Facebook, they're finding them on LinkedIn. That's where you find your jobs now. That's if you have a business and you want to sell a product, you don't advertise in newspapers anymore. You don't advertise on TV. You don't advertise on radio anymore. You advertise on social networks. Because with social networks, you reach millions of people with a click of the button. We recently had our website transformed to what's called a Web 2.0 website. Now, if you guys send me a letter and I put it on my website, or if I write some copy and put it on my website, or if I take a picture like we are today and we put this on my website, right now I have a network of about 10.5 million people. So that means I put something on my website, I click a button, 10.5 million people receive a personal email in their email box with this video. Okay, and a month from now it's going to be 20 million. The other month after it's going to be 30 million. And so by the end of the year I'm able to reach, I don't know, 120 million people with a click of the button. At the end of 3 years, literally everybody in the world. And so we've been sharing this with businesses. I have a disabled veteran, Marine captain, went to Iraq and Afghanistan. He's disabled now, but he's become an expert at building these websites and getting people hooked up to all the social networks. So he rebuilt our website, and so we also, one of the ways in which I'm trying to get money to come in is that I'm offering this to businesses. If they want to stop spending money on advertising, which we usually spend around $100,000 a year in advertising, and I might as well have rolled up the money, put it into a cigar, and smoked it, because it had about as much effect. You know, advertising just doesn't work anymore. And so, but the only advertising that will work is Web 2.0. And so, if you know any businesses that are dying, they're going downhill, they think they're going to crash and burn, you got to get them to talk to me. I can turn that business around with Web 2.0 almost overnight. And the thing is, they never have to spend another penny on advertising, never have to spend another penny on marketing. It's all free. It works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, while you're sleeping, while you're on vacation. Hundreds of people are finding out about you every single day for free, right on the social networks. So that's the thing I have to say, HirePatriots.com. There's no A in it, just HirePatriots.com. And my wife has some business cards. Because we're kind of running out of money, we only got 17 business cards. So, so if you would like a business card, just raise your hand and we'll be glad to give you a business card. And the next time you or any of your neighbors or friends need a strong back to help them around their house or their yard, just have them give us a call. Either my wife and I will post it on our website for free, and a few minutes later, a wonderful Marine or a Marine spouse or a Navy foreman will give you a call and come over to your house and do the work for you, and you're going to love it. Okay? Thank you so much.